Hello my dear students, we are again here for our next history class, and the chapter which I am going to do today is the continuation of the chapter which we did in the previous class, which is the protest movement. So in the previous class we did about this protest movement in America, in USA, okay, how the blacks were discriminated in USA, especially in the southern part of USA. And here we are not going to do this Martin Luther King, the role of Martin Luther King, because it is not there, okay, it is not there. As you all know, the syllabus has been reduced. So the role of Martin Luther King, it has been excluded for this 2021 syllabus. Okay, so we move on to the next topic today. Under this chapter, chapter 10, protest movement, we'll do the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. Okay, if you have your books, I want you all to look into your books. Okay, this particular topic, anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. The Dutch East India Company founded a colony at the Cape of Good Hope in 1652. So the Dutch East India Company. So as you all know, if you look into our history, which we have done in our junior classes, there were a lot of European powers who came to India. Okay, so these European powers, they had made India their colony, like the Dutch, the French, the British, the Portuguese. So same way, similarly, the Dutch East India Company also founded their colony at the Cape of Good Hope in 1652. In 1652, the Dutch founded their colony in Cape of Good Hope. It remained a Dutch colony till 1795, and during this time, the Dutch, they were known as Afrikaners, or they were known as Boers. Okay, so this Dutch who had their colony at Cape of Good Hope, these Dutch were known as Afrikaners, or they were known as Boers, which means farmers. B-O-E-R-S, and the meaning is farmers. During this time, the Dutch or the Boers took away land from the native Africans and forced them to work as laborers and treated them as little better than the slaves. So this Dutch, okay, now what did they do? They took away the land from the farmers, okay, the African farmers. Their native lands were taken away, and now those people whose land were taken away, they were working in their own land as farmers, and they were treated little better than the slaves. Okay, their living condition was not good under the Dutch. During the French Revolutionary War in 1795, the Cape was captured by the British. But again in 1795, the British captured this Cape of Good Hope from the Dutch. In the 1814 peace settlement, it was decided that Cape Colony would remain under the British control. So what was decided? That in the peace treaty, a peace treaty was signed between French and Britain, and it was decided that this Cape Colony, okay, so this Cape of Good Hope would be under the British control. The Dutch settlers or the Boers became restless under the British rule. So this Dutch who were under the British, now they were restless. They no longer wanted to be under the British. They now moved towards north and set up the independent republics of Transvaal and Orange Free State. So this Dutch, now they moved from that place, okay, from the Cape Colony, and they moved towards the north and they set up their own independent republic of Transvaal and Orange Free State. In the Boer War, which was fought in 1899 to 1902, the British defeated the Boers, and in 1910, again the British joined with Cape Colony and Natal to form the Union of South Africa. Again there was another war. Okay, so this Boer War was fought between the British and the Dutch, and again this was fought in between 1899 to 1902. And again what happened? The British defeated the Dutch. The Dutch were again defeated by the British. And now what did the British do? British joined this Cape Colony, the Cape of Good Hope, the Cape Colony, with other regions like Natal, and it formed what? The Union of South Africa. So South Africa became the Union of South Africa when Cape Colony was joined with Natal. Okay, clear with this? So in the Union of South Africa, the white people dominated both in political and economic life of the country. The black were discriminated like anything. Again, when in this United South Africa, what happened? The blacks were dominated by the whites. That is, the British dominated the whites. The British dominated the blacks, and the blacks were discriminated in each and every field of their life. They were not allowed to vote and had to live in a reserved area. So they were not allowed to vote, they had to live in a reserved area, and this area was reserved only for the blacks. Okay, they were not allowed to move to those areas where the whites were settled. The government controlled the movement of the blacks by the system of pass law. So how the government controlled the movement was through the system of pass law. So what is pass law? This is important. What is pass law? So this pass law, P-A-S-S-L-A-W. So this pass law, okay, it was a law which was passed by the British authority, and this law was particularly for the blacks. That is, they had to carry their identity card wherever they went. Okay, so wherever they went, they had to carry their identity card or their documents along with them. Okay, that was just to put a check on the black people, okay, where they were going, what they were doing, okay, just to keep a check on the blacks. So the blacks had to carry this pass law, or let's say this identity card or document wherever they went. Okay, so this was the pass law. So without this identity, they were not allowed to move anywhere. Living and working condition of the blacks were primitive. It was very, very backward. They were barred from holding skilled jobs, and they were not allowed to hold strikes. So they were not allowed to hold any kind of strikes, and they were barred. They were not allowed to hold any skilled jobs. Then the introduction, we move on to the introduction of apartheid by Dr. Malan. So it was Dr. Malan who came up with this apartheid. Apartheid means apartheid. Okay, this apartheid means complete separation of the blacks and the whites in each and every field. This means discrimination. After the Second World War, the Prime Minister Dr. Malan, he introduced a new policy called apartheid, which means separateness. The object was to keep object means the main aim of this apartheid or separateness was to keep the black in tight position, to check them, to keep them in tight position. Most of the whites were against racial equality. So most of the whites, they did not want equality with the blacks. The extreme was the Afrikaners, that is the Dutch or the Boers. Nationalist party which was led by Dr. Malan. Okay, so here the extremists were the Afrikaners which was led by Dr. Malan. They claimed that the whites were the master race and the non-whites were inferior beings. So they claimed that the whites, they were the master race. Okay, they were the masters, and the blacks, they were the slaves, the inferior. In 1948, this nationalist party won the election with promise to rescue the whites from the black menace and to preserve the racial purity of the whites. So in the election, this party, this nationalist party, the party of Dr. Malan, what promise was made by this party? That after the end of the election, after they win the election, what would happen? Here, promise to rescue the white. The white will be rescued from the threat, okay, menace means from the threat of the black, and will preserve the purity of the whites. This policy was continued and developed by the succeeding Prime Minister. So after Dr. Malan, who became the next Prime Minister, okay, they followed the same policy, that is the policy of apartheid or separateness, okay, that is discriminating the blacks. Are you clear? So how it was introduced, who introduced this apartheid. Now we move on to the main features. This is important, the main features of apartheid. Apartheid, you have to know what is the meaning of apartheid. Apartheid means complete separation of blacks and whites as far as possible at all levels. Okay, complete separation of blacks and whites. It implied complete segregation socially and politically of the whites and non-whites. There was separation. So this is how they were socially, politically. See, they were separated in buses, their coaches, train, cafe, toilet, bench, everything. Okay, their churches, area, picnic area was also different. The black children went to separate school and they were given much more inferior education. The education which they got was very much inferior. It was not good education. Every person was given the racial classification and identity card. Remember past law? So each and every blacks were given identity card and their racial classification. The blacks had to stay in their reserved area of fixed township. The blacks would carry documents at all times in all places so that the authority can put a check on their movement. So this is what I explained about past law. Marriage relation between whites and non-whites were forbidden. It was not allowed. This was followed strictly to preserve the purity of the white race. Thus, Africans, they lost all political rights. So all the political rights also they lost. And their representation to parliament was abolished. So they were not allowed to be the member of the parliament. Thus, according to Alan Paton, apartheid is in essence a rejection of men. So it is totally rejecting a man. It robs the non-whites and of their land and liberty. So their land is also taken, their liberty, their freedom is also taken away. It breaks up homes, it separates father from children and husband from wives. Okay, so it breaks up home. Okay, so the child is somewhere, let's say father is somewhere, mother is somewhere, so it breaks up the home. The African children are to be trained that they become efficient domestic servants and unskilled farm hands. Okay, so they are not given good education, so children, they are trained in such a way that they become a domestic help. It means sickness and death for lakhs of children, because children are not getting good education, so that's why. Okay, they are treated they are treated in a different manner compared to the children of white. So that's why it means sickness and death for lakhs of children. So moving on to the role. Okay, this short again a short paragraph on role of Nelson Mandela. Okay, what role he played in this anti-apartheid movement? I'll give note on this also. Nelson Mandela, he was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary, politician and philanthropist. He studied law and gradually he became involved in anti-colonial and African nationalist politics. So Nelson Mandela, he was an anti-apartheid revolutionary. So he played a very important part in this anti-apartheid movement. He joined the African National Party and founded its youth league. Okay, so he joined the African National Party and he also founded this youth league. With the Afrikaner minority government of the National Party established apartheid, a system of racial segregation that privileged the white people, he became the president of African National Party's Transvaal branch. So again, Nelson Mandela, after he joined this national party, then he established this apartheid. So he wanted to go, after he joined this national party, then he was totally going against, okay, this apartheid movement. And he also became the president of this African National Party's Transvaal branch, which was in Transvaal. Then Mandela, he became prominent for his involvement in the 1952 anti-apartheid defense campaign. Okay, so there were a lot of campaign, there were a lot of program which was initiated by him, and one was in 1952 the anti-apartheid defense campaign. He was repeatedly arrested. So because of his, let's say, activities, okay, going against the British, okay, playing an important role in this anti-apartheid movement, he was arrested repeatedly for seditious activities and was sentenced to life imprisonment in the Riverian trial. And Mandela, he served 27 years in prison. So this is very important. So for his activities, he played very important role in this anti-apartheid movement. Okay, to give equal right to the blacks in South Africa. He was going against the British. So for this, he was arrested. Okay, and he was in jail for how many years? 27 years. Amid international pressure and growing fear of the racial civil war, President F.W. de Klerk released him from jail in 1990. So again it was F.W. de Klerk. So you have to remember this name, F.W. Okay, F.W. de Klerk. He played a very important role. Okay, he was the person who released Nelson Mandela from jail. Mandela and Klerk negotiated to end apartheid and organized the 1994 multiracial general election. So after he was released from jail, both Nelson Mandela and F.W. de Klerk, what they organized? They organized an election, and this election was not only for the whites or the blacks, but it was for the whole multiracial election. Mandela led the ANC to victory and became the president of South Africa. This is important. So this African National Congress, they became victorious and they became the leading, or let's say they became victorious in this election. Okay, and Nelson Mandela became the president of South Africa for the first time, a black president. Okay, Nelson Mandela, he was a black president, the first black president of South Africa. His administration introduced measures to encourage land reform. Okay, he worked for land reform. There were changes in land reform. Combat poverty, that is to fight back poverty. Expand healthcare services. There were a lot of healthcare services, and the removal of apartheid policy of the government. And lastly, to remove apartheid. Okay, no separation between the blacks and the whites. He declined a second presidential term. When he was again, when there was again next election for the presidentship, he declined. He declined this term. He did not want to be the president again for the years. He was awarded the Nobel Prize, for peace. So he also got, because peacefully he fought. He peacefully fought for the blacks. So he got the Nobel Prize for peace. He died on 5th December. Again, remember this, 5th December 2013. He died at the age of 95. And the South African people respected him, and he was known as the father of the nation in South Africa. Like in India, we have Gandhiji, isn't it, who fought for the freedom of the country, and he is known as the father of our nation. So similarly, Nelson Mandela in Africa, he is known as the father of the nation. So today we just did this introduction of apartheid in South Africa, who introduced it, and what is the meaning of apartheid, the main features of apartheid, and the role of Nelson Mandela. Just go through this, and I'll send you notes on the features of apartheid. Okay.